Now, it sounds like a science, but calls itself a church, while opponents have other names for it. Despite celebrity followers such as John Travolta, the Church of Scientology is viewed with suspicion in some countries. Now the organisation faces a new legal battle in France, with a trial starting next week, threatening its operations there. I went to Paris to find out why. The Church of Scientology has always had an uneasy relationship with the French authorities. Founded by the science fiction writer of the 1950s, L. Ron Hubbard, it inspires both devotion and loathing. Viewed as a religion in America, in this secular state it's seen as a sect. There is no word here for cult. The Church of Scientology is no stranger to the French courts either. There have been several convictions against individual Scientologists in the past. But a trial is due to start later this month that for the first time puts the church itself on trial. I went to meet the barrister bringing the case, Olivier Maurice. His client, a 43-year-old Parisian housewife, says that after completing a personality test, she was persuaded to spend 25,000 euros on medicines for self-purification, on a machine called the electromet meant to detect her vibrations, and on books and cassettes, all sold by the Church of Scientology.
Tellement elle a été humiliée dans sa dignité.
She was humiliated and defrauded for a long time. She bought cases full of expensive books and cassettes, all cloaked in this goal of self-improvement, to become this incredible person. It's an empty promise. It's all a fantasy. The only purpose of Scientology is to take money from people.
I wanted to find out what Scientologists thought of the case. The first to accuse them of organised fraud, and the first that, because of a new law, could for the first time see the church shut down. Do you agree that the Church of Scientology deliberately targets vulnerable people in order to take money from them?
You can't practice Scientology if you're not interested in it or motivated by it. It's a very personal journey. It's all about self-discovery. It's about you and you alone.
She says anyone unhappy with the teachings can get a full refund, and she didn't much like the allegation that her church is responsible for organised fraud.
It's nothing. It's bullshit, really.
But this is the charge that will be heard in court.
You know, the charge are not charge. I mean, you know, we know that we will be in court to be able to explain the truth, you know.
But if it was bullshit, would a judge really allow it to be heard?
Because the judge was influenced.
By whom?
By the environment, the climate, that fee.
That's quite a serious charge to make, that a judge could be influenced by the media and the climate.
I don't want to enter in this polemic.
Scientologists here believe that the French state is sponsoring discrimination against them, in particular one government agency called La Mivilude. It was set up 7 years ago to monitor the activities of sects in France.
There's no witch hunt. France respects freedom, but even with religious freedom, France can't ignore people breaking the law. If you have religious freedom, you can't do things that are above the law.
The lawyer bringing this case told me that half of the people who approach him wanting to sue Scientology are paid off by the church to stop their cases reaching court. The church vehemently denies this. I arranged to meet one former Scientologist who's refusing to stay quiet.
They get you in a situation where you are the more and more weak, and then at a certain time you are completely dependent, you know. And when you are in this relation of dependence, leaving the church is like dying, you know.
Alain Stouffen has now written a book in which he says the church blackmailed him and kept a secret file on him.
When I discovered all those reports that were written, you know, they knew everything about my private life, you know, it was just awful. And I discovered how they blackmailed me to get money. Huh? I realized that I built up all my adult life on values that were lies, you know.
The Church of Scientology says Alain Stephan has lost all legal claims against them. He's being manipulated by government agencies, and his allegation of blackmail is pure imagination.
Nous, ce que nous disons, c'est simple.
What we say is simple. Do we continue to allow an organisation to make a lot of money by using reprehensible, fraudulent techniques? We don't think that should be allowed to happen.
Nous ne le pensons pas.
The woman bringing the case says she's too frightened to give evidence, that if she wins and the judge decides to close down the branch of the church that she is suing, it will deal a serious blow to the Church of L. Ron Hubbard.